Good morning and welcome to Brunswick, Maine and Bowdoin College. I particularly want to welcome CEI to Brunswick. I know that you're coming to Federal Street soon. I think it's sometime next year, but we're all looking forward to having you in town. I want to greet my old friend Ron Phillips. Ron, you know it wouldn't be an encounter between you and I unless I used the line, the government in exile. I've always felt that CEI was such a major part of the sort of social, political, and economic infrastructure of Maine. Governors come and go and senators come and go, but Ron Phillips is always there. I know you've already heard from Yellow Light and Sue this morning, and I'm just delighted to be able to greet you, if only electronically. It's great to have CEI's meeting here in Brunswick and at Bowdoin. And I know there are a lot of interesting issues that you're going to be talking about. You've got a great speaker coming up. I'm going to introduce him in just a moment. But I just want to say, in thinking about where we're going in Maine, and I hope Jeremy Rifkin will touch on these points, that we're so poised in terms of issues like broadband and renewable energy and the technological changes that will really drive the future of our economy. There are lots of interesting and exciting things happening with broadband from Washington County to Portland, and I think we're going to see some fascinating and important developments over the next several months and years, but really in the very near future. One of my missions down here is to support the development of rural broadband, because if we have smaller communities that just can't get it, then they're not going to have any economic future. And frankly, young people, I don't think are going to live in a house where the realtor says, well, I'm sorry, but you'll never be able to get broadband. So that's a problem Maine and the rest of rural America has to solve. I'm working on it. A lot of good people around the country are working on it, and we've got wonderful people in Maine that are doing some very, very creative and interesting things with municipal broadband, with wireless, with what Susan Corbett is doing up in Washington County. A lot of interesting developments. And of course, another technological development that's important to Maine is renewable energy. The only real major capital investment in Maine in the last 7 or 8 years has been in renewable energy, particularly wind power. I think we're up close to $1 billion having been invested in the state, and that could double in the reasonably near future. And we are and will be a leader in that technology. And of course, there's the potential for considerable energy resources offshore in the Gulf of Maine, and that's under development at the University of Maine. And we're hoping for a deployment of their experimental turbine and turbine base out in the Gulf of Maine sometime in the next couple of years. So a lot of exciting is going on now. We've got to get them through a round of funding at the Department of Energy, and we're hoping that the space will open up in the queue, if you will, to enable Habib and the crew up at Orono to move forward with their project. So a lot going on, and I understand your theme does involve technology and the future of Maine, and certainly those are two things that are very much part of where we're headed. We're fortunate to have with us this morning as your speaker, also electronically, but as I say, it's about 80% of the experience, and it's better than not having someone of Jeremy Rifkin's stature with you. Jeremy Rifkin is a world-class thinker, literally. He has written something like 20 books, some of which have been bestsellers. He's advised the European Union, presidents across the globe, and really done some of the most serious and creative thinking about the future of the global economy, particularly as it relates to technological and communications development. He is a very thoughtful person. I think you're going to find his comments very interesting, and I'm just delighted to be able to welcome him to Brunswick, to Bowdoin, to CEI's breakfast. And Mr. Rifkin, we're delighted to have you. Congratulations on the great work that you've done, and all of our participants here this morning are looking forward to hearing your comments. So without further ado, as they say, Mr. Jeremy Rifkin, welcome to Maine.